All right, my friends, today we are going to be putting some knife handles and doing some kydex sheaths on this 2023 Skur blank. I've got a few of these blanks, actually about 7 or 8 of them that I'll be working on today. So I'm going to show you how I put on my scales, how I make my scales, how I assemble everything, how I do my kydex sheath, how I get these ready to be mailed. Today is Friday, so I'm going to get these ready for mailing on Saturday. So this is really nice. If you missed the video on the hollow grinds I got for this blade, you can check the banner in the top corner there, or you can check it out in the link in the description. But with that said, let's get into the video with step number 1.
Alright, first things first, gonna get my mask and hat cleaned. Specifically the mask because it gets pretty gritty in there with all the G10, the dust, the metal, all of that. It gets gritty and I want to be clean. So first things first, I give the mask time to dry and I just wipe it down. I also wipe down that little part of my hat because I noticed dirt tends to build up there. And I don't quite want that on my forehead all the time, especially for the many hours I'm in there at a time. So now we're just going to set this to the side and get the orders for these Skur models. We're going to get all these lined up. So just put in the order number, color, and how many. There's one of each per order really. If you see here number 1350, that one we're just doing the scales because I'm not sure if you knew this, but Shedknives offers replacement scales. So if you go to shedknives.com, you can get replacement scales for any of the 2023 and upcoming 2024 models when they release. Alright, moving on, I'm going to get my Skur blanks set out. And you'll see me set a few to the side. That's because they maybe have a mark on them that I don't like. I don't mind a mark, but when it's like a true dent in the knife, not a fan of that. So just send them to the side. That little chip on the edge of the blade with that previous knife, that's something that will be taken out during sharpening, so I'm not too concerned about that. But now we're just going to get them prepped for the G10. We got OD green, Skur orange, more Skur orange, Tiffany, actually that's Coyote tan, there we go, midnight black, and Skur orange, finished off with OD green, there we go. Let's move those back on over. Just going to get this lined up and set them, really organize them to the specific knife, which I'll then split into left side, right side. As you can see here, you can't really see that left side. It's kind of off the camera, but you get the point. So now I'm just going to split that, and that is so I can begin getting the handles ready. But before I do that, I gotta get my gloves on because G10 is nasty when you start drilling it, sanding, all that stuff. So just get some nice rubber gloves on. You can watch me fight to get these things on. So, alright, getting the tunes going. I usually listen to a podcast or some sort of educational video, but today I was kind of tired of that. So I was like, let's get something fun on. It's been a few weeks. So anyways, got some music, got my hat. We are ready to roll. Forgot the water bottle. There we go. We don't want that dusty. Got my drill. I'm using the bit that is the same size as the holes inside the knife. So you can see those small holes, just same exact size. Put the G10 scale in with the knife, put it in the bench vise, Sharpie that. Now, this works out well with the Skur because the bottom of it, or technically the spine, is completely flat. So I only need to draw on that bottom part. Or if I was using something like the sheep's foot, or the Tuatara, any of those knives, where they have a curved spine towards the back, I'd have to flip it over, get it lined up again, and go from there. So anyways, now you can see the drilling. All I'm doing is just putting small little indentations. This is for the drill press because I want these holes to be exact, and so far I've thought, well, the only way to get them exact is to just kind of give a little indentation this way with the hand drill, and then I can give the final the final drilling on the actual drill press. So as you can see, I'm doing a ton. Left, right, left, right, left, right. There's a ton of them. So now let's get this tray ready. So we can put these scales in. By the way, oh, there we go. There's always something taking me out in there. So now I'm just going to get the right drill bit on, because right now I have it for the kydex sheaths. It's a slight difference, but it is a difference. So I got to put the smaller drill bit on. By the way, at any point in the video, if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. I'd always love to do another video on this. If you have any questions about specific steps, or if you have something non-process related, maybe something knife related, outdoors related, hey, just let me know. Be more than happy to answer the best I can. So now we're just going to start drilling. This gives a perfect vertical, straight from top to bottom, where the hand drill could be a little more leaning in one direction or the other. As you can see, it's perfect, and that's what I want. So that's why I use it. But we're just going to continue here. And also, if you have not subscribed yet to Shed Knives, what are you doing? You gotta join. You gotta join the movement, and the easiest way to do that is just to hit that subscribe. 8.5% of viewers who watch my videos are subscribed, so that leaves really a whole nother 90% of viewers who are not subscribed. So if you are not, hey, if you like knife stuff, if you like outdoor resources, go ahead, hit the subscribe. And for all of you who have been watching and continue to watch, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate it. You guys, pretty awesome. Alright, so now we finished that up. We did the counter bore. Now I'm going to take it to the bandsaw. And notice that orange piece, that is G10 as well. That way, no metal piece or metal bar, wood bar, whatever is getting into that bandsaw blade. And also, it's a good way to use excess G10. So I just bolted it together, and it's a nice press. Saves my fingers. And also, please note, if you're going to be following along and making your own knife, make sure you use the bandsaw or whatever you're cutting with, cut on the outside of the Sharpie. You can see I always leave a little bit of Sharpie left, because that will be sanded off. If you're too close and you cut all the Sharpie off, well, now you have nothing to grind. So there we go, drop them down. And speaking of dropping down, let's drop down and do some push-ups. For all you knife makers out there who are not doing push-ups in between knife making sets, you could say, what are you doing? We gotta get the reps in. How do we become the strongest out there if we don't train? We make a lot of knives, but we also gotta make a lot of reps. So I encourage you to do that. Now the scales have been cut, drilled, and paired at this point. Now separating them back. Now if I am working with 2 dozen, 3 dozen knives at a time, each knife will get its own little slot in that tray. But today, since it's just a few knives, then I'm not really too concerned about having to reorganize them. So now put that tray back, and we're going to organize that machine, just kind of straighten it out. Next thing, I'm going to get my screws. I'm going to screw them in. These are the same exact screws I use for the knives. The only thing is, I made them a little bit less deep to make up for the fact that I am not attaching them to a knife. Oh, there we go. I realized that I guess I had drilled already on the scale, so I had to switch it out. Little dance break. I was actually pretty irritated, so I thought, let me just kind of dance it off real quick, and then we'll get back to it. So seems like it worked. There we go. Get on that belt sander, swap that belt out for a nice 36 grit belt. Turn that thing on, and it is time to grind. Let's get at it. And just a reminder, I'm doing just the scales. I don't attach them to a knife. Also, it gets pretty dusty, so keep an air compressor around. It's by far like the most useful tool I have.
Okay, folks, I just had to take a little intermission because I just had a pretty cool delivery right here. So if you saw the video I did on how I make kydex sheaths, I used a knife style just like this. So the guy who I made the kydex sheath for, Sam and I have a friend named... Okay, so little change of plans. You may be wondering, why am I in the vehicle right now? It's because my camera just died, so I have to go get some batteries. So I'm gonna head to Walmart because this camera takes a specific type of battery. So even Royal Farms didn't have it, which is like literally right by the shop. So anyways, gonna swing in there, grab the batteries, get back to knife making because these people need their knives. The people need their knives. Get them their knives. And I'm gonna do just that. So see you in Walmart.
This is a perfect opportunity to check out the Walmart knife collection because little did you know, maybe, do I actually sell knives at Walmart. Not in store yet, but online. So let's go ahead and take a look at the collection. Okay, so we have Gerber. I don't know what that is in the back. Buck? No, Kershaw, back left. We have a Buck 110, looks like. No shed knives. Gotta change that. Nothing like truly 100% USA made though. That's what we need. Need to pick up some shed knives. It is time to check out. Have the batteries. It's time to get back to knife making. So I will see you back at the shop. As I get back in the shop here, get back set up, get things put away so I can continue making these skewers, really to finish them off for the day. I want to feature a comment by Dave Brune 4001. Next level clinch knife, which is this knife right here. I'm a new subscriber, go into your website. Thank you, Dave. And I told him, I said, Dave, I didn't know that this was called a clinch knife. I did not know it was called that. So now we know. Clinch knife. Boom. Enjoy. Alrighty, so here's a close-up of this knife. It is by Big Henry's Forge, or Jim Henry. He's the maker. Has some beautiful Damascus, beautiful handle, just really nice craftsmanship there. And look at that spine. So I was able to do the kydex sheath on this. So there's his contact info if you want to get a hold of him. Does some pretty cool knives. Alright, back to grinding. So here we go. I'm working the Skur orange scales. I'm just going to speed this up because, man, let me tell you, it's a lot of grinding. Now, if you want to watch an unedited version of me grinding, please let me know. That would be like 3 hours long, but still, if you're interested, let me know. And where you can pick these knives up, you can get them at shedknives.com. You can go there, where I have an array of fixed blade knives ready to go. So check them out. I'd greatly appreciate it. And let's get back to it. So time to put the actual bolts in, the actual screws that will go on the knife. So putting in that side, look at those, the flat side. And you can just see the other side. Now we get the actual threaded bits going on the right side. And notice I'm lightly drilling them in, or lightly tightening them. That way, if I need to adjust them, I can do that. There we go. Beautiful OD Green Skur 2023. Such a nice knife. So now I'm just going to straighten all those flathead bits, or flathead screws. I'm just going to straighten them all out. So that way they're even, they match, they don't look weird. So just going to straighten them out. And then once those are straightened, just going to tighten them down. Now I realize that this is actually a new knife, so all I'm doing is just assembling the scales again to tighten them, but I really tighten them down. So here we go, and I just do it. So this was really cool because sometimes I'll have to adjust a scale. Maybe there's a little too much material I forgot to take off, something like that. This batch worked out really well. It was all perfect. It was all perfect. So very thankful for that, and made some really nice pieces. Now it's time for the Kydex sheath. Gonna get my blue tape, if I can get it. Look at that. There we go. All right, so you don't need that much tape, as I will find out here in a few seconds. But you need some tape, so get some blue masking tape. Please, I encourage you, get the higher quality tape. I bought so much of this like low quality tape because there was like some massive price difference, but really because I bought so much of it, and that's why I'm still using it. But otherwise, once this batch is up of tape, I'm gonna go back to the higher quality stuff because it just takes forever to peel. So anyways, get some quality blue masking tape. What this does, basically, it's just going to apply a small layer in between the knife and the Kydex sheath. If you're doing a leather sheath, then I don't think this applies. I've never made a leather sheath, so I couldn't tell you. But what I do, though, is Kydex sheaths. Now I'm writing the order number on there, so 1329. That way I can keep everything aligned. Haha, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. I'm rhyming there. So now look at this. This time I learned from my past mistake of putting the Kydex on top of the white paper. So put it in 375 or 395 degrees for 45 seconds. Warms it up real nice. Put that skewer in there. Push it to the bottom, spine all the way down. Keep it flat and tighten. That's it. There we go. This is going to get a nice form on that sheath. Now I'm just going to let it cool. How long do I let it cool? Well, really until the next knife is ready. But if you're only doing one, then I'd recommend maybe like 5 minutes max. If you have an air compressor or something to cool the knife off fast, that is not in ice water, by the way. That will mess up your everything going on there. But if you have an air compressor, then you can take it out a little sooner. But if not, just let that thing cool. So otherwise, that plastic will warp. So now I'm doing the Kydex sheath for this knife. Gosh, I forget the name of it already. But anyways, I'm doing the Kydex sheath for this one. And I'm going to have to do a custom sheath, just like in the last Kydex sheath video I did for really the same knife. Was it a clinch knife, something like that? Anyways, look at how nice that is. The tighter the blue masking tape, the better it's going to look on that Kydex sheath. You can see there's no bumps, there's nothing like pushing out of it. And it's because it's smooth. So as you can see already, I did the Kydex sheath. Now I'm doing this by hand. If you're doing this by hand, please give yourself some room. I'm doing this in one shot because, to be honest, I've done hundreds of Kydex sheaths. So now I'm just going to bang this out if I can. There we go. Move to the metal table. Pull it out. But if this is your first time, please practice, because otherwise you're just going to have to remove Sharpie from your Kydex sheath, and that just takes a while. And we don't have a while, because we have knives to make. The people want their knives, so I must get them their knives. Now I'm tracing. I have a pre-built like tracing device pretty much for my Kydex for each model, the 7 models. So I just lay it on top, and that way I get the same size, same shape every single time. I'm just going to cut this out. Take your time with this stuff, guys. My goodness, so many people rush through this, and number one, it's dangerous. Really, that's what I'm trying to get to. It's dangerous, but also you'll end up messing up one of your knives. You'll mess up a sheath, you'll mess up a scale, whatever it is. Just take your time. As you can see here, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. You can always remove more material, but you can never add it back on. It's a saying I have said for quite a long time. You can also say measure twice, cut once. That's another good one. But anyways, look at this. This is actually coming together quite nice. Check that out. Here we go. Now, this is why some of you have wondered, Jack, why are your sheaths so square? Well, did you see how fast that first part was? Watch it again. Boom, boom, just super easy. When you get into the really weird curves, everything just starts to get weird when sanding. Unless the curves on the Kydex sheath match the curves of the wheel, then it's perfect. So now we're moving over to this Kydex buffer. Thing's pretty cool. You can pick these up in different grits. I think this is like an 80 grit or 120, something like that. But anyways, I just use this to take off all the burrs. And I also noticed something. A lot of other knife makers put the grommets on before they do any of this polishing, sanding, buffing. They put the grommets on. The reason why I don't is because so much grit gets inside the sheath when you put the grommets together that I like to keep the sheath open, put the grommets on practically last, and that way I can take the air compressor and just clean it out. If I need to get a towel in there, I can clean it out too. So now that that's done, I've already sharpened my knife on the belt sander. It's not something, I mean, I'd like to show you guys, but I won't because it's a special sharpening process. So anyways, sharp knife, almost slipped there, wow. See, even though I make a ton of knives, sometimes you still mess something up, or you have a little accident. That's okay. That is okay. So it's a little tight in the sheath right now, only because that tape is kind of sticking to it. So just kind of oil your knife. Anyways, gonna clean myself off there, get all the dust off, especially when I'm working with G10. Just kind of clean the shop off. There we go. Sweet, 2 thumbs up. Anyways, here's the finished product for my guy Jim at Big Henry's Forge. Shout out to him. There it is, showing it off. It's a very nice knife, by the way. Very nice, reasonably priced. So I put the contact information earlier on in the video. Please reach out. He's always open to custom stuff. So here we have the skewers. You can check those out on shedknives.com. We have a lot of them going out. There are the extra scales, by the way, that someone ordered. And then just one of each color. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like. If you know someone who may find value in it, hit the share. Last thing, my friends, hit the subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, my name is Jack, and I'll see you in the next one.